Just let me know when I'm... Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm not even on there.
10 seconds, that's usually good. Hello, welcome back to Exit 73 Studios Inside Look to our game Hashtag Blood. This is episode 43 of Drawing Blood, and it's an inside look to our game we're working on called Hashtag Blood, where it's a top-down adventure, very much in the spirit of Zelda, mixed with our favorite cartoons from the late 90s, Cartoon Network style. My name is Chris Burns, and with me, as always, is Bob Fox to the right. And let's see, we missed last week. I wasn't feeling too well. So let me do a quick recap of what we've been working on while in my absence. So we're gonna do something a little different today too. So 2 weeks ago, let me get the timeline down here. We were kind of finishing up these flies, these little sprites for you, and I'll play some of this to show you. So we were kind of discussing during the Twitch whether we should have these guys shoot something. So you could see this character right around here, kind of spitting out something right there. So what we had to do then is, since it's a top-down game, we had to have him kind of spit in every direction. So I started working on all them spitting out each direction, and you could see he shoots upright, down, right, and then everything kind of flips. So let me show you that one too. Okay, so I got every direction here, and you can see I kind of linked up the two animations. So there's the fly idle and the spit itself. So Control-Shift-W. So I kind of got a little projectile in there too, which is this little mucus ball. All right. So we're going to try something a little different today. We're going to work sort of on a narrative, sort of promotional thing for Blood. So I thumbnailed a bunch of really, really beat up drawings here to kind of tell a little bit of a story on the good news that we wanted to explain to everyone. Want a few more people. Hey, Daniel, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. I'm just in the middle of telling everyone we're working on sort of a narrative today. I am feeling better. I couldn't feel much worse when I was actually in the hospital because I had acute epiglottitis, which is a bacterial infection on the epiglottis, which stopped me from swallowing, and I guess they were telling me it was close to not breathing too. So I was in the hospital for my birthday, Bob's daughter's birthday, and my friend Evan's daughter's birthday. So I missed a lot of birthdays. It was not the way I wanted to ring in age 39, but I'm much better now. So there's that. So what today we're working on, like, some of our Twitch promotional stuff, or rather just Blood promotional stuff. So we're working on this little introduction animation that's kind of announcing the good news that I want to get into a little later. Yeah, I feel a lot better. I mean, when I couldn't swallow, no, is that them?
No, I don't know. This is that weird number again.
2 thumbs up.
That's 201.
Oh, 201, Jersey. We got Jersey callers now. Yeah, so I'm feeling a lot better now. So the news we're going to announce at the end of this is sort of going to be introduced in this little narrative animation. So I kind of wanted to show you, we do a lot of sprite animation, which isn't narrative really. It's just sort of something we can do in the game. But this one, I want to show you how we sort of think of an idea and kind of make it into a reality, like these little narrative things. So I'm going to just run through this real quick. These are what I call thumbnails, and they're really, really loose. So if you guys can even tell what they are, I'll get into it soon. But I pretty much break down things into thumbnails, then animatic, then animation. In some cases, just write the thumbnail to animation. So I'm just going to go through these beats, see if you guys can tell what's going on. So that's Bob and myself. This is a house. Got Cody in there. Andrew's house. Andrew, one of our programmers. Greg's hometown. Then Greg, and then this kind of booth at the end. And that kind of announces the good news. So I kind of break things down. All our promotional stuff, I usually try to shoot on threes. I do a lot of shimmers and stuff. So it's a very kind of crude, but I find charming style, and that's what we're gonna kind of do. And I did a promotional Twitch one. Let me see if I can find that real quick. See if I can find it. I believe it was the 13th. Yeah. So this is the style in it. It's a think chunky style. It's all shot on threes, kind of cartoony. And I wanted it to be in this style since this is, we're trying to establish some sort of kind of cartoony thing that looks a little like Blood, but, like a bootleg version of Blood. So that's what we're going to be working on today. And when more people get here and we're a little later, I'll announce the good news about Blood and what we've been sort of hoping to happen. So let me close this. My mouse has been working funny, but that's what you get when you do this wireless mouse. What is happening? Hey, what's up, King Maxie? How you doing? Our Instagram. The King Maxie's the only person I.
He was saying he used to be here a lot under another name. He was always here.
Oh, he was always here?
It was Cold Waffles or something.
Oh, Waffle. Yes. Changed to King Maxie. I like it. So what I did here is I took each one of these sections, I thumbnailed it out, and then I'm going to start kind of with this scene because it's character driven. I want to kind of establish the line weight, the color palette, and kind of get this scene kind of laid out looking right. Then I can go in and sort of work into these backgrounds and stuff. So we'll see how much we can get done. And the Twitch audience is getting the good news today, and when we finish this animation, the rest of the Twitterverse, or whatever you call it, will get the information. So it's a little bit of a sneak peek for you guys. Those who, the 15 of you guys who join us, you're getting some good news. What you'll make it. This is going to be a promotional video for Blood, announcing something we're very excited about. So it is Blood related, though it's kind of introducing each one of the creators of Blood. Now this style I'm doing is super crude. I like the hard angles. I like it looking a little wonky and stuff. So we're kind of gonna just work in this little background first, background and foreground. Clean it up. Try to get a good line weight going and seeing where we can go from there. So that'll be foreground. I'm just going to kind of work in the foreground elements, and then I'm going to frame Bob and myself out with the same line weight kind of restrictions. And when I do these Twitches, I know I'm a stickler for line weight and all that stuff. The same kind of applies to these promotional things. Now the line weight's a lot thicker in a lot of these, but I like to remain consistent throughout. So we got sort of this thing going, and you can see I try to skew the lines and all that stuff. So that's the foreground. This is the background. So let me see here. If I bring in, and I brought these into the library so I know what kind of line weight I'm trying to match up to. See Bob there. I'm going to use the same color palette too, I believe. That might be a little thick, so I might have to thin it out because there's more happening in this narrative. So let me see what 500 gets me. I'd say, if I remember correctly, this was 400 brush 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see what that looks like. That's actually a little thinner, which could work out in this case. A little thinner. So if we go, let's say, maybe I did it at 300 brush 6. That's a little more in tune. So if I go to 300 brush 4, we'll get a thinner line weight, which is something I think would benefit in this case. But this is what this is about. It's kind of learning. This is the scene to sort of learn it and then apply the rules. And a lot of our production like this is how we sort of figure stuff out on the fly. There's not a lot of like these are the rules, now let's apply it. It's this is the rule for this one, now let's apply it to the rest. So I'm gonna have a black line for this, and I'm gonna go to 300 percentage, and I'm gonna just clean this up. I'm gonna try not to hit shift as much as I can, because shift you can get a straight line, you can do a lot of quick things, but since this is sort of a chunky kind of freehand style, we're gonna get rid of that. So, and you get to see a rare glimpse of how I approach backgrounds, which is not scientific in any way. I'm definitely, if I had to lean any direction, it would be character animation, I think, is one of my stronger suits. So backgrounds I treat just as a way to frame out the character, since I want to highlight what I personally like about animation, which is character animation. Alright, something simple here. And I want a lot of shadows and in this too, like a lot of blocked out colors for this, since it's a simple style, just to make it look a little more dynamic. Alright, so we got that. Gonna go back, pick out some of these colors. I think we're gonna use this kind of greenish aqua blue here. Now what I'll do, since this is scene 2, gonna just name it scene 2 desk. I always bring in my chart here, and then I'm just going to trace this back because I want everything to feel lively and shimmery, if that makes sense. I call it a shimmer, some people call it a line boil. There's a way to cheat this too. We've been in crunches where I could show you what we would do. We would take just one drawing and then smooth it out a bit. So if you guys need to replicate the style and you're in a time crunch, what you could do is click on the black arrow and hit the smooth tool, and you can see, it might be hard to see, but you can see the line change a little bit here and there. And what you'd get if you play back, it's hard to see, that's why we don't do it this way. But there is sort of a liveliness to it. The line feels a little what I call a shimmer, what others call line boil. But since we do everything the hard way here, I'm going to trace it back. Go back and forth and make sure this is going to look right. Yeah, I also wanted to do this because we've done characters of Bob and myself, and even some of Cody, but I feel like the other two, Greg and Andrew, aren't getting a lot of FaceTime, and since this is such a collaborative process, I want to introduce you to the team and get them some FaceTime. You see enough of me. All right. So this you can with this style you can keep very loose. So even if I go a little off, like you see there, I'm not gonna be a stickler for that. I kind of trace it with
says about damn time.
I know Andrew is our he's just the steadfast kind of just slowly just chipping away at everything so beautifully and stuff. We went to Cody and I got the opportunity to go to Spain to showcase Blood, and Andrew busted his back trying to get Blood translated into Spanish, and I wasn't even really that aware of what was happening. And then when we got to showcase the game, there was an option to have Spanish it in Spanish and stuff. So he's been doing all the stuff that I never really thought of. He worked on an inventory system that Bob. I think that'd be an interesting Twitch, actually, watching us, because he does all the programmatic side of things, but now we have to take the inventory system and make it look like in the spirit of Blood. So it's going to be a graphic challenge for us. for the inventory system, because those who got to play Blood, it's very early on in the process, even though we've been doing this for what seems to be forever. But we don't have an inventory system. But if we're kind of replicating these top-down adventure games, you're going to want to, to progress the story, you're going to need items that get you to further parts in the map and stuff. So we're going to need an inventory system. We don't really hide the fact that we're taking a lot of, we're paying homage to Zelda and all these top-down adventures that we all love. So to do that, we're going to need to replicate some of that stuff. All right, so now I'm going to do the computers. These are in a different level because I want these to actually animate, like when Bob and I are drawing on it. To actually press down. Again, not a lot of thought to these. I think the charm is going to come in its crudeness for something like this. And we're a crude team. We're just these ragtag bunch of guys trying to make something here. So there's the wire in the back of the Cintiq. Make sure that goes off. Maybe I'll... Now I'm going to do the keyboard on a separate level because Bob and my character will be on top of that. So the idea of this narrative is that we're all in our respective workplaces. Bob and I in Riverhead, New York, Cody in Florida, Andrew in Jersey, and Greg in Maryland, and we all get transported to the place, that the big event. Those who have been paying attention on Twitch probably know what we're talking about, but we are very excited to be going somewhere. All right, now let's see, I'm probably going to play with some shadows here, so I'm just going to kind of fill this in like that. Let's see here. So I'm just following the contour of the desk here. Sometimes when I fill in like a solid color, I'll just change the numeric version of it a little bit in case I don't like it, so I can save the line weight. Now it looks the same, but and I selected it the same. Hold on. So I'll change the numeric value, hit enter. Now, what I could do if I don't like that is erase it like that. A little tip if you want to save some of the integrity of the drawing. Select that color. Alright, so what I'm going to do is call this one C02 PC, personal computer. This one's mine. C02, personal computer. This one's Bob's. Okay. Now we worry about the keyboard, which is just kind of a flat square here, rectangle. Not too much to worry about there.
On Monday morning.
Monday morning? Cool. Finally a good phone call. I haven't had one of those in ages. I'll call this C02 keyboards. And I'm going to treat that the same way. Just going to shimmer those. Those weren't. We have few and far good call. Oh, hold on, I missed Robert Gracia. Is it possible to collaborate on your project in the programming side of things? I think we're all covered on every side of the project right now. We have two top-notch programmers, an excellent writer, and what I would like to think is two decent artists. Uh, Now, the programmers might argue that end, and just as much as we argue the other ends, but I think, right now we're just kind of looking to do this on our own. It's all sweat equity right now. We're hoping to eventually sell this. Make some scratch. Even a scratch I'll take. Alright. Alright, so we got that. So we got something of a background working here. So you can see those things shimmer there. And you see, I love the crudeness of this already. Like, you can really, this is at 75% too, so at 100, you really start feeling like it looks like a hand-drawn thing. I always liked that traceback look. The computers will be traceback eventually. Now let's kind of refine these characters because I'm not in love with the shape of these guys. I'll start with Bob. Let's kind of rough out some shapes here. All right, we're gonna kind of match cut this to the desk itself. We can put some shadow in there if we need, like that. Follow through here. Ear. He doesn't have that. Alright. Uh-oh. I hear him. I hear her neighbor. Will you guys get another treat? Another interrupted treat? Those are always a Friday treat. Alright, a Cintiq pen. Let's see. Do I like that? I want to just lower the features a little bit here. Okay, yeah, something like that I think will work. Alright, let's clean that up. That's the right line weight. These characters I just keep on one layer. I might separate the Cintiq pen because I want to do something else with it rather than I'm not going to shimmer it, obviously. It has to be animated, but yeah, I'm trying to, I'm talking to Rob Sardi right now. Looking back at some of these Twitches, I've been showing an inside look on the sprite work. And sometimes we get questions on, like, how we approach a project. Now, if it's something like this, I wanted to show sort of the narrative side of things, like how do we visually tell a story, how we come up with it from sort of start to finish. And that's what this one sort of is. I want to show, it's not a necessarily long narrative or even, hopefully it's exciting, but, it's something like a 20-second short story, how we would approach that. And I, if all goes well and we're not slammed with work, I should be able to show this I think by the end of next Friday, and then I could show you all the ins and outs of this project. Cintiq pen doesn't look like that. Can look at it right here. All right. So I'm gonna fill that in. See if that looks right. Yeah, I'm gonna like the solids here. I'm gonna just take the same color palette I had. Very minimal. And the Cintiq pen will keep in line with the rest of the background. So what I'll do here, C02 Bob. I'm going to call this Bob's cycle because he's going to be a cycle and then something else is going to happen. Line that up. Let's see, that's the foreground. So he's going to go under that. Like that. Now, let's work on myself. I never like doing caricatures of myself. Really. I don't like doing caricatures in general. I always feel like... One time in SBA, I remember we had a life drawing class, and we always, every week, and I was so bad at life drawing, we had to take the person to the right of us and do like a 2-minute a portrait of them. And I always felt like I was insulting the person. Like I always felt that way. And this one time, probably one of the better life drawing girls in the class, she just nailed me. Like, it was so perfect. What she did in 2 minutes was so breathtaking. And I was like, God, that really looks like me. And then I had so much pressure to draw her. And I just, like, when I showed it to her, like, you could just, like, she just, like, sunk down, like, like, I was like, no, you don't look like this. I'm so sorry. Mary, we're already spoken. Today's actually my 6-year anniversary for my wife.
Who forgot?
She forgot. That's how good things are going.
That's a good. God, if that was the other way around.
I would never let it happen. I'm all about self-preservation at this point. No, I don't need.
She even said that, right? She said if it wasn't, she even admitted to it.
I think I made the comment last night. It's like, if this was
I think she said it before you.
No, she did. She's like, I'm the boy in the relationship or something. But the thing is, it's a week away from my birthday, so I always sort of have, like, once it's my birthday, I sort of like, oh, I had to get something. No, but I guess we'll never know if I'll get in trouble for it. Give me a big goofy smile here. No, so, but because I miss so many birthday parties, I have to go to my parents' house tonight to celebrate my birthday. So I don't get to really celebrate our anniversary. I had to go with my sister and brother-in-law and the whole kit and caboodle. All right, that works.
How do you get such clean lines? You get consistent lines even though you have pen pressure on.
Well, this is Flash MX, which is an ancient program. 15 years. We actually did a series on the benefits of Flash MX versus Adobe Animate. I can't speak for what's it called, Toon Boom or any of the other ones, but I guess it's just practice in that. But I'm very comfortable with Flash MX. Oh yeah, and I zoom in. You see I'm at 200% now. Now if I go to 400, which I do, I pick the brush size, which I think I picked at 4. So you can see, I mean, the line I guess some of the lines a little clean, but like when you zoom out to 100%, you know, you're not gonna get a lot of imperfections show up. And I'm all for imperfections in line. The stuff I find most distracting about Flash is when it's perfect. You know, the movement is perfect or anything. So, oh, thanks. Yeah, no, 6 years, Bob. What do you just celebrated your 8th year?
We didn't celebrate it. We just
It's celebrated. Bob and Kristen forgot you both.
We
Did you?
did, well, we
You
just
just
didn't do it.
you
It's
just
just
didn't
as a
acknowledge
random-
it.
Then it's always like Lena's birthday's coming up, so we have to start getting
Yep.
ready for that.
I missed his youngest birthday. I missed my friend Evan's birthday, his daughter's birthday, and I never. Evan owns a bar, so we never see him because when he's off, we're working and vice versa. So, and he just celebrated his 40th birthday, which we've been trying to get together for. So, growing up's not as lavish as you thought of it when you were in your early 20s. You thought everything would get, I don't know, easier maybe. Nothing got easier, especially when you throw kids in the mix. All right. No, I really missed a lot this weekend. But Bob and I were saying at least I got sick on the weekend, so we didn't miss any work. Running a small business is awesome. My gray spots. Gonna have to change the color there. All right. Gonna do 4 fingers for these characters. If I need 5, I'll add 5 in later. But I've never been a stickler for that either, honestly. I'm all about what drawing makes it look good, not I'm not too much into rules when it comes to animation. I think character like design sheets are killing the industry, honestly. All right. So we got that. So this is, ooh, I made myself pasty. It's okay. Whoops. What other colors here? Not as pasty as Cody, though.
Vampire.
He is a vampire. Alright, so I'm going to call this one Scene 2 Chris Cycle. Alright, let's layer that right. Now, for those who sometimes I get flack from other. Oh, you hear that?
Friday.
It's Friday. That's our mating call around here. I get from industry people, especially my friend Esteban, who runs a animation studio in Florida. He's always given me flack about I'm never layering or labeling my layers. So this one's for him. You can see right there, all the way to the left here. So you know 2, and I know exactly where they are. Got my chart in here. Now we can start. Well, let's see what this looks like first of all.
The thing is, we're never handing our problems.
I'm never
to
handing my
somebody
problems
else
in. Never. All right, I'm gonna. So this is what it'll show up.
We just hand our problems off to each other.
We got problems, big fella. The desk looks a little thicker. Let me just change that. Modify shape, expand fill. The desk is just a little bit thicker, but instead of auto-correcting that, I'm just going to expand the fill, so now that's the right line weight. Better? It's going to be purely black down here. And let me just fill in that right there. Okay, so now we're going to animate Bob. I could probably double click in this since it's... You can do that in MX. I mean, you could double click anywhere, I guess, but you can actually use edit to your advantage, which I don't know why they're not doing that in animate, but que sera, sera. Alright, so this one I'm gonna just do a simple 4 drawing cycle and sort of an ease in, ease out, if you were. And I'll keep this throughout the whole piece. For each character is going to get a 4-frame cycle just to kind of establish a little bit of a rhythm. So the pen is going to be drawing, so we're going to move that down. Going to lower the eyes a little bit. Just a little bounce we're going to add to them. I don't blame you one iota. You can do some backgrounds? Or some inventory stuff?
Try to test out an inventory idea.
Ooh, Bob's switching gears to blood. Music to my ears. We tried to, well, if you saw our personal Discord, you would see a lot of me explaining that everyone should quit their jobs. A lot of that going on. To just work on blood full time. I don't have a plan for how anyone's going to get paid. I just want everyone working on it. Twist, we'll just have it go the other way. So we got a little bit of a cycle here. Just a little simple drawing cycle. We'll clean this up. 400 brush 4, I believe. Yep. Always have to double check that. Who is this? Chevril. Oh, yeah, I got a little. Oh, a little peeker. Okay, hold on. Hello, I feel that all the time. My life is usually a mess. If I'm working fast, I usually find myself cleaning up my file before I hand it off. Yeah, when I had to hand it off, I used to be so much better about labeling stuff. But I found that a portion of my day was spent doing it too, so I never felt like I was ahead of the schedule. I was a lot more organized when I was at another studio, because I always utilized a lot of interns to do a lot of the in-betweens. So I had to keep my files really, really strict. Because we were using Flash MX actually, and to replace the symbols, I had, there were days I had 6 or 7 interns helping me, and it was all with one file, so I had to grab their files and put it in. Now that we sort of just rely on ourselves a little bit, it's just sort of, I won't open up this file again once it's finished. There's not a lot of use for it. So there's the lack of organization is pretty apparent in some of these. All right. So we got a little cycle here. Control loop playback. So he's going to be drawn like that. Now what I'm going to do is kind of favor, it's going to be sort of an ease out, so I'll favor this drawing. And since I want a little bit of cartooniness, I'll do stuff like that for the Cintiq. So we'll get a little bit of that. And on the way back, I'll do the opposite for the Cintiq pen. You know, get a little bit of squash and stretch. So, you know, it's kind of rubber hosey, but I enjoy that stuff. So I'm going to favor this side. So I could probably just in between this without roughing anything out. Famous last words. So I'm just going to sort of use that first drawing as a guide. So you can see these aren't exactly in-betweens at all. Or it is an in-between, it's just favoring one. It's almost a loose traceback at a certain point. And then you worry about the secondary. And this is how you get stuff done as quick as you can. Let's see here. I'm going to kind of bend his hair a little bit so that gets him secondary at least. And that's another good thing about these crude styles. There's no real wrong way to in between this thing once you get you kind of, and it's a, you know, this is a style I'm very familiar with too, so it's not like I'm going in. I would never probably put this lack of roughing out in a client's work, though some might argue I'd do less. Gonna couch surf LA while I'm working on my pitch. Oh really, you're gonna go there? What are you pitching? Is it a series? Is it live action? Animation? Tell us, King Maxie. I'm always, you know, anyone who has the bravery to pitch, I'm always fascinated because it'll oh man, I've never felt worse than after pitches where they go bad in the industry. I felt worse in real life, but God, I've had my fair share. But Bob and I were, I've had 2 horrible pitches, but Bob was savvy to the one. Remember that one?
Yeah,
when I was in my room, in my office.
No,
I just felt like hanging. I just felt like hanging up in the middle. As like once they told us that one thing, I was just like, what? Why do I have to keep talking to you?
We made a lot of assumptions that.
I made the assumption that the thing they asked for they were gonna read. That was.
Just couldn't go through, but that was a good experience.
In hindsight it was very informative, but when they asked us to send over this pitch Bible because we were pitching, we sent it over like 2 weeks in advance. We kept in somewhat moderate contact with them, and then when we get to it, they're like, and mind you, this is over Skype, which, you know, I can do a whole twitch on how Skype doesn't work well. Only when you need it does Skype not work well, though. That's why I found that. But they didn't. We had to wait. This 28-page pitch we made, they had to print it out. Like, they didn't read it at all. I don't know what we were supposed to do over the phone with them, or over, you know, what was I going to show the pitch up to the camera? Here's page 1. Making animations. Yes, always make it simple. Just do it. Do it for yourself when you make animation. Just do it simple. It'll just, you could tell more story. If you're just trying to tell a story, just do it as simple as you can. I can't stress that enough. I see a lot of character designs now where they're just like, on the left side of the second necklace, on the, just like, don't, you know, I always think of when they reboot Ninja Turtles when Michael Bay produced it, and it looked like Michelangelo looked like a flea market. He was just walking around with so much crap on him. I'm like, what is this?
That was just every producer had to say something.
No, it's just like, yeah, maybe he should have a sweater tied around his vest, and just like why?
shell necklace.
It's just like, we get it. He's the party dude, right?
You could just sing it in the song at the beginning. We know.
No, just I've heard tale that he was a party dude. No, just that scene in the elevator when it first came out. It was like looking at like just a pile of stuff, just trying to sing a song, and it's just so unnecessary. And it doesn't. They confuse it for like this is his character. It's like that's not his character. His character is how he acts to a situation, not what he puts on in the morning before he fights ninjas. Jeez, it's so stupid. And, I don't know. I get it for kids and stuff, but still. And when we were cartoons, they just changed. They had the exact same model. They just changed the color of the bandana. Like from the waist down, you had no idea who you were looking at, and we all understood it. Like I was never like, "What is this? Who is this weird guy? Is that a turtle?"
It was like their weapons defined who they
No,
were.
their weapons
Before
were.
that, they were just,
Yeah, it's so it's unnecessary, and it's always like you can always tell when it's someone's note too. They really like. You get a producer who has a note, or you get a compilation of notes from someone, and you could tell someone like it's always someone's thing. You know what I mean? It's just like if they're talking about like a certain element and they keep bringing it up, it's like that was someone's note. And it's like, ooh,
somebody will harp on one thing.
Yeah, just one thing. He's a party dude, but no, it's just, someone bring up that. Bob, could you bring up that trailer or that image when he's in? Can you find an image of when they're on that elevator for that reboot? And just look at how much crap is on Michelangelo.
Was that the one where you see a lot of?
It's one they were in. It's like it was one of the first teaser trailers where it was just like they were trying to. And again, I know it's for kids, and I get mad at people who get mad at this stuff, but as an animator, I'm mad for the people who had to worry about continuity. You look at this. Look at this dirt. That's perfect. Look at this. First of all, they look like in Super Mario Brothers, in the Goomba elevator. Remember that the live action Super Mario Brothers? Look how tiny, right?
Like the Goombas.
Yeah, look at this. Get a load of this.
They all have so much stuff.
That is the ugliest thing on the planet. Look how ugly that is. Someone approved that. Like someone, like it wasn't good enough, and then that was perfect to someone.
Their feet up on the desk at the end of the day and said, "I did it. I did my job."
I mean, would any of you guys come up with that first and say, "This is what we want to show. Let's throw 300 million behind this, boys." Just to make things hard, I swear. All right. So back to being simple. Just so bad looking. All right. Oh, I got his hairline kind of squawking out a little bit. We better fix that.
King Maxie found the connection out in LA that's interested in this cartoon.
Oh, awesome, dude! Congrats. What can you say anything about the pitch, or do you want to kind of keep it under lock and key? I completely understand if you do too. I know people are very. Sorry, I just messed up his hairline. This is what happens when you don't rough it out.
It's right there's band-aids on.
On what?
There's band-aids on his shoulder pad.
Yeah, cool.
That's a good point.
It's just
There's
nonsense.
so many things I don't even. Why does Raphael need? He's got sunglasses on top of his head.
No, it's being mistaken for like
Those are like the
attitude
sunglasses
too.
somebody is like fishing in a pond with too. They're like, you know.
No, I get it. It's like they're all sort of scavengers. I understand it, but come on, is this? It just is it what is that what you want your animators doing though? Like that's my gripe with it. It just I don't and I don't care really. It doesn't you know I don't think it detracts or adds to the story. But if you're not going to add to it, then why are you making it harder? And it just the whole industry's riddled with those little like things that bother me though. Just changing Bob's hairline a little bit here. And they think that it's when that gets confused for like character development is just we're losing sight of character development. And I can't repeat this enough. Character is how you react in a scene. It's not what you're wearing. That's what defines character, how you act. It's in the word. Alright, so we got that fixed. A Band-Aid on the shoulder pad. Even the new one, they're doing it too.
The cartoon.
Yeah, it's not as bad because it's traditional, so you can't go nuts with it. But
Some crazy stuff.
that has some great stuff in it. That really has some nice stuff in it. Okay, so we're gonna work on his computer. So I'm gonna know he's pressing down, so the computer's gonna bend backwards. And why does Raph need some? Because he's cool, man. Why? What do you mean? He's a cool dude. He's rough and tumble.
He's crude.
Such trash. Alright. So he's going to press down. I'm going to kind of bend the screen down. Make a little wobble for this Cintiq. We had a lot of fun in the studio making fun of that movie when it first came out. Remember, Bob? Remember we
The second one we weren't. It wasn't as fun.
No, it wasn't as fun to
wasn't
make
as
fun
bad,
of.
I guess.
No, it wasn't as
was
bad.
Terrible, but
It was terrible, not awful. But when that first came out, man, did we go on a tear. There's that scene at the end, too, where you don't know what's happening.
that was. Oh no, it was one of the worst.
Worst, like
Like,
timing things
just-
I've ever seen.
I was just so lost in what happened. Like I physically didn't know where
I didn't know where the
characters
fight was
were.
taking place.
Yeah, I
Like
just
it was
didn't
on
know.
top of a building, and then they were free
On the
falling
ground.
for
25
what felt
minutes,
more-
and then weren't on the ground, but where
Yeah. All that stuff. When you spend money on a big budget like that, too, you should kind of care about that stuff.
King Maxie said it's a 2D adult animation, so based off of his life, but it's set in a fictional medieval world.
Oh, very cool. And can you mention where you're pitching it, or is that a NDA kind of thing? There's a 3D. Yeah, no, I thought that was good too. Anytime it's more cartoony, I end up liking it. The 3D turtles you're mentioning. No, the cartoon series never bothered me. It was the live action remake that felt.
Even that one 3D movie was pretty good.
Yeah, no, I thought that movie. Anytime it was like we had live action characters and it. You look back. I know everyone does the rose-colored glasses of it, but the first one that came out when we were kids, I'm sure that has a lot of problems too. But it didn't feel as I don't know, Insidious as what I've been seeing going on with these new ones.
Oh, that one's Nickelodeon.
Well, there you go.
No, the one that you're talking about is the 3D Nickelodeon one.
Oh, okay. Okay. You should find. Also, I think they have. I think the Super Mario Brothers have a lawsuit on their hands. Could you find that Goomba elevator scene? I think they might have a little infringement going on. Have you seen Turtles Forever? I haven't, actually.
I've never even heard of it.
I'm looking forward to my sons growing up a little more so I can stop watching stuff like...
I can't imagine Coop.
No, he was into Baby Shark more than any kid should have been, but
But I mean, just like baby stuff almost. That's just, I can't imagine him getting too risque with his choices.
No. Oh, we were trying to watch Into the Spider-Verse, and the second Green Goblin was bigger than like a mountain at one point. He's like, I'm out. He's like, turn this off. We went trick-or-treating last night with, I have a boy that is he's scared of his own shadow, the older one. And he's a very sweet-natured, really kind of, he's a good kid. He's a really good kid, actually. I think fear plays a big part of him being good. But, so Halloween, Bob's Neighborhood, really gets into it. So there's people put skeletons in the yards and stuff, and Cooper, my oldest, was just like, I'm not going over there. There's a skeleton. Now pair that with my other kid, who's half his age, fears nothing. He doesn't fear discipline. He smacked his brother actually in the eye when we were trying to all take a photo. Like, he does stuff like that, and he's just not afraid of anything. So I thought we were just going to get another sweet boy, and then we got Cole. The Cole man. Michael Bay likes those spinning camera moves, lens flares, yeah.
Those camera moves at points in time, they're fun. I mean...
We put lens flare and stuff, too, so I can't really make that argument.
Bad Boys 2, that shot where, for no reason,
just going Bad Boys 2.
Around.
That was like Tony Hawk thinks he has the most spins. You're wrong.
Not Bad Boys 2. I could get behind.
They're making another one, right?
Yeah, they were supposed to be. I don't know what happened.
They were making that. That's when movies were movies. I do miss that kind of... I miss that kind of movie.
Like, I wish the superhero movie could be more like
Oh,
that.
I really do. I truly do. No, it's just fun. Those were, it's a bygone era. They'll come back. Alright, so let's see if this adds up. No, that... No, that was fun last night with the... Yeah, I love how your neighborhood does that, though. When he saw the werewolf. There was a guy, like, laying on the lawn. I didn't know what he was doing.
He was sitting in, like, a lawn chair, right, giving out candy, and he was a kid.
Well, there was a guy just laying there, like, on the lawn. And Cooper was not having that. Alright, so we got Bob now. Let's get to old Burnsy boy here. Okay. I might add a shadow between here, but I'm gonna wait on that. Let me wait on that. Alright, so same exact treatment here. Now, what's nice about this cycle, and when you shoot on threes, this is like the traditional kind of 13 frame cycle we got here. So everything loops on a second. And I always like keeping things in second intervals just for if we were to ever add music, I think it really helps. We're already an hour into this thing. Yikes. Hold on, let me text my wife back. Alright, so same treatment, and then what I will do, I'll show you when I finish this character. So not everything's so rhythmic. While my head's going down, Bob's will go up, so we have some nice balance kind of going on there. Make the whole scene feel lively. Alright, same exact kind of thing. I'm going to make my eyes get a little bigger. Can play with proportions and this kind of stuff. It's alright, so the hair will go down, the hairline go up, the pen go that way, and I'm actually going to make this pen go like that, so it looks a little more like I'm drawing. Thumb up. And as opposed to trace back, I'll always move something like this just to keep everything sort of lively. You should. It's a crossover of the animated Turtle series. What's am I missing something? Oh, Turtles Forever. Okay, gotcha. All right. Good enough for government work. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, go like that. And we'll expand that a little bit over here, I think. Why don't you color both of your hair the same color? Bob stands out more. Well, my hair is a little more gray, so I kind of kept it in more of the lighter department. It makes me look like an old man, but after all, age makes fools of us all. And we'll try to highlight it.
We're terrible with colors.
I am awful with colors too. I don't give it as much thought as I should. What I usually do is grab, like, I'll just straight up look up something, like I'll type in something like yellow color palette or blue color palette. Just grab it right from the internet, so I don't even have to worry about theory. I'd say you're better at it though, color palette, Bob. You sort of been designing that whole series.
Oh, well, yeah. Just stealing.
No, I mean...
stealing palettes that...
No, well, it, you know, is a...
that work together.
I also, like, when I first started, I felt like I was very literal with everything. Like, I would never do sky that wasn't blue. Or, so, you know, like, I'd pick the very kind of simplest, most direct way to represent something. And now I find when you have a limited palette, you experiment more, and you get these really cool combinations. Yeah, I just want to animate things myself. Alright. gonna favor this side again. There's nothing here that scares me in terms of, well, let me just rough this out first. Yeah, there's nothing here that scares me in terms of in-betweening. What that bit me last time with the hairline. Let's see if I can fix that. Gotta still favor this side. Favor the nose here. Favor the eyebrow. The chin, and so on and so forth. So, King Maxie, when do you head to LA for your pitch meeting? Let's see here. So I'm gonna bend the glasses just for a little bit of secondary thing there too. Get the thumb, we'll bend the thumb that way. Just a little secondary. Did King Maxie say when he's going to LA? I forget. I just asked again.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think he did.
All right. So we're going to favor the other side now. So this is going to bend back this way. Nice cartoony pull to it. Let's test it out. Yep. That'll do just fine. Just curious, is anyone on this feed from LA? I know Lauren is. She's usually on here, making a sneak peek. But I understand the whole state's on fire right now, so I can understand if that's not a priority. All right, let's see here. That's like that. Let me just get a little closer to the original. I'm a little confused by the line here. We always wanted to make the migration out there and pitch when we were really into pitching. Kind of,
Lost interest.
we lost interest in pitching. I think what I attribute it to anyway is working on #Blood, because it sort of made. First of all, I don't know if you can even pitch a video game. I have no idea how that would even work. But just seeing it come together while working on it on our own has been very rewarding to me. So no, really, part next year, no date yet, just some things to finish up first. Oh, okay. And King Maxie, I might have asked you this before, but where do you reside now? Are you East Coast? All right, now this part's gonna bend that way to get some more secondary. favor the mouth there. Third Coast, Houston. Oh, okay. Wow, awesome. I always wanted to go to Texas. I hear it's beautiful there. They say there's a really big art scene too. I've heard it might be Austin, Texas, but
Austin,
forgive me if I don't know. I don't really know the layout very good. They say, yeah, I heard there's a giant art scene there. Not Houston.
Houston's-
Oh, okay, Houston. That's way different. I've been to LA a few times though, for the purposes of pitching, and San Diego Comic Con, but that was back when I was in short pants. Twas 2007. Things are simpler then. Alright, that works. Then I just have to kind of do the computer, and then we can sort of button up this scene. How does one join your Discord channel? You know, that funny you should ask. We're working on something like that. Yeah, I would love to go back to. Oh, that is that. I can't read that. Is that Lauren? Oh, I was just talking about you, Lauren. You were here the whole time. She was. She's in LA. I don't know if she's native to LA, but she's there now. I know. That dark blue in my old weary eyes. Alright, so we got that. I just had to do my computer, and then I had to Bob and I both had to get transported off here. And this, I think I have enough time for that. Native to San Francisco. Ooh, the real estate capital of the planet. Dull unless you make music. Oh, it's a big music scene. Yeah, I heard Austin was. I mean, and I read that somewhere. I wasn't even sure if that was accurate.
I think it's like also just a lot of younger.
I think so, yeah. Is there an animation scene in Texas at all? I feel like any big city should have some, you know, at least pockets of animation. The thing is, animation is so cost heavy that I'm surprised more, and you know, we can all agree that it's a digital world now. Why there aren't animation studios popping up in places where real estate's cheap? Oh, that's cool. I like that a lot.
Thinking.
No, that's really cool. That's awesome. You know what I mean? Like, why is I get the charm of city life. I get less of it now that I'm older, but I do understand it. But why isn't there just this mass exodus where where prices are reasonable? Curious. All right. Powerhouse is in. Oh, well, yeah, and then there. I think Titmouse are. Is Titmouse in Texas? They could be. I don't know. I know they're in LA and New York, and I think they were in Canada. Though I heard rumors that they were closing Canada because New York has such good tax breaks now for animation, I guess. Unless you're a small studio, then pound sand. We'll raise your taxes, though. This is two people who are poor. Then let's take a look at their books. Titmouse is going to take over the world, if it already hasn't. They started as a T-shirt company. Isn't that crazy? Because you think about that, like T-shirt company to within, and not like animation's so new. This within 15 years take from that to 17 series at a time. Not Austin, yeah. I didn't think they were in Texas, but I could, they're sprouting up everywhere. Oh, really? Gaming in Austin. That makes sense. Oh, Rooster Teeth, I heard of that. And what did Moot Caesar? Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I knew Titmouse was. But I heard it could be just a rumor, though. That Titmouse was sort of closing their Vancouver branch. Not because they're doing bad, just because I think they're kind of migrating back to New York. But I think the main hub is in LA. I think that's where Chris Bernowski calls his home. He's the head of the head honcho. You won't get far in animation without knowing someone who works at Titmouse. They employ, I read an interview, or heard an interview, I don't know, like 600 or 700 employees, which isn't, as the proprietor of a studio with two, that boggles my mind. Shadow in here. And I hear Powerhouse is real big too, actually. They're pretty giant, I hear.
They were pretty small when we started.
They were real small. It's always fascinating to see that, because I guess we've never really been focused on growing our company as we need more employees. I think Bob and I are sort of we try to be fiercely independent, try to do everything ourselves. Which is probably killing us, but what can you do?
That's why you're in the hospital.
That's why my epiglottis almost shut down. But it's never been the primary focus. I've always wanted to. I wanted a truck like that, and that's why I moved to Riverhead. No, I never wanted to stop. Oops, wrong side. Animating, and I know, I don't know this to be certain, but I don't think Chris Pernowski's doing a whole lot of drawing anymore. And to me, to be an animation means I want to animate. I don't have a proclivity to background design. I don't have a deep passion for color theory or even character design. I'm not, I like cool character designs and stuff, but to me, I like acting with the characters. I like making things move. So, if growing meant I had to kind of give up that, it would be something that definitely gives me pause. Plus, I find over the years that I animate, I'm getting slowly a little bit quicker, a lot more confident with the line I'm working on and stuff. And it's something that you could take with you in old age, I think. It's not like if you're a football star, there's an age that you hit that you can't, put on your helmet anymore and go out and compete with a younger competition. This is something I feel like I can, if I live to 80, I feel like I can draw till I'm 80, hopefully. Alright, so what I'm going to do now I might keep it at the same rhythm, but if I could go like this, you see how it's on loop down here? I'm just going to change it to 7, which is the down part. And then, yeah, I feel like that's a little more organic. So I got this scene now. Now what I want to do is frame it out. So what I'll do is add just another background element. I'll probably pick a lot of noise outside. There's always a lot of noise when we do. So I'm just gonna frame it out with kind of bold shadows here. Try to get, just frame out Bob and myself, and then we can put a shimmer on that. Add some sort of action lines. Of like him and I plugging away. I'll do the same exact shimmer for the shadow here, just so everything feels on the same chart. And this is sort of how I build out a scene. Once I like something, I just move on too. I don't want to spend a lot of time thinking about stuff. I think in general, I don't think a lot. All right, so we got that. I'm gonna call this C02 shadow. Trace that back. Wasn't Moonbot in Austin too? Oh, I have 2 studio. They have 2. They keep growing. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. No, Chris Bernowski, he didn't know what he was. He graduated the same college as Bob and myself, SVA. And I think he might have won the big award for his animation.
What was that?
Pernowski, Chris Pernowski.
Oh.
Didn't he, or did Don Dugas say that?
I forget what he did.
But,
well, he got that show pretty.
he got the show right out of college, pretty much, which was an MTV show called, was it Downtown or something?
Yeah.
It was called Downtown. And it was this real, like, it was very specific to the time. It was a style that looked very specific to the time, which was, I think, mid to late 90s.
But it's still always, it's weird, it does have his
Oh,
style.
it has his, like, you can see his stuff, like,
stuff still.
he's branded himself. And, even with 600 to 700 employees, you can still tell it's his stuff, which is fascinating. He got it, I don't know what happened after that. I think it aired for 1 season on MTV. And then I think I'm probably gonna butcher this, and I probably, I don't really have a right to speak about it. But I think from there he started his graphic T-shirt design kind of thing, and he just rented this little kind of storefront, and it, from the way he put it, and I think didn't he mention this in Tongue and Pencil?
I think so.
That's where we
saw
heard it, right?
we saw
Yeah,
somewhere, right?
but it sounded like he kind of fell into animation.
Well, I think somebody asked him to do something, and he had to hire his friends and to kind of get it done in time. While he was doing, the T-shirt thing.
Yeah, okay.
So then they just kind of parlayed it
Into that.
doing
Okay,
it
so
more.
yeah. No, but I don't know if his intention when he first opened it was to even be an animation studio. Back then, you either had to have a studio job or you did it, I feel like, too. Right? Because there was we're so lucky that we have a program like this, but they were drawing on, he was drawing on cell, which, I only did my first year, and if it was still like that, I wouldn't have continued. Yeah, that's that house style. It was very much MTV, but it was very his style too, I find. Okay, so we got.
Squared off or something.
Yeah, it was very hand drawn oriented too, I thought. Fun angles and all this stuff, and he made a full-fledged career out of it. Okay, so what's going to happen here? I'm just going to pick, I'm going to say at the second mark for now. What Bob and I have to get transported to a new place. Should we mention it now? I guess we're, everyone who's here. Okay, so, this whole promotion is for, and the big news that I mentioned on Twitter is Blood got accepted into Magfest again this year, which is our second year going. It puts a fire under all of our asses to get something in terms of a level finished. So we're gonna have what we hope early 2020 is a full level of Blood finish. So we're announcing this now. This promo is sort of going to announce that to the world. And what we're going to be doing is opening up our Discord channel so you guys can check in on us when we're not working hard enough. We're going to have new t-shirt designs, and we're kind of labeling it right now. It's sort of the road to Magfest, showing you kind of our progress as we slowly approach January 2nd, where we need to have a level finished. We got Andrew kind of spearheading kind of the level design and all the programming ends, and we have a checklist of all the animation we need. So you'll see a lot of that come on Twitch. What we have to do, we have a list of all the backgrounds we need, inventory system, all the stuff, but everything that it's going to take to get a full level finished, level 1 finished, we have to have done by January 2nd. So it's exciting news for us to get back into Magfest. We took home some award, the Shiny Award, which was merited the game's design look and stuff. But what we showed was very much a demo, and now we're focusing on story, just building out this game from the ground up, level 1, and we're moving forward. So we really have the inspiration now, not that we never did, but to get this out there and make a level 1 and see where it takes us. So those of you who don't know anything about Magfest, it's the Music and Games Festival. It's held every year in, is it Baltimore or Washington? It's Baltimore, right?
Baltimore.
It's Baltimore adjacent. And not like the Wire, Baltimore. It's this town. It's it's just a town that's built for conventions. It's 4 days of free games, indie games, music that surrounds games. It's mostly gaming stuff, and it's a scene. It's great for a little independent studio for us, and we're really excited about it, and we're excited to be back. So, and I'm excited to open up our Discord to you guys so you can check in on us, and we can show dailies and stuff, and it's a big deal for us. So we're all thrilled to be in it, and we're really excited to get the inspiration now and the motivation to finish level 1 a year later. But no, that's why you saw the last few weeks that I was working on stuff that wasn't vampiric and stuff. So level 1 we're kind of ramping up and telling the story, so it has to. You're not just thrown into a vampire apocalypse. We're kind of building the neighborhood and establishing kind of a theme. So that's what we're going to be doing. And we have new bosses to animate. We have new villains to animate. We have a bunch of NPCs to animate. We have new backgrounds to design, and our whole what Bob's working on now, actually, some inventory stuff. And then it's all in Andrew and Cody's very capable hands. Yeah, get to work. We need to. Enough talking. So that should probably be announced next week, though. I guess the cat's out of the bag now, but yeah, we're excited. So what's gonna happen is like this beam of light kind of shows up out of the sky. Kind of sucks Bob and myself up. So we're going to need some new animation there. little kooky pose here. And I guess more information will come with where you can find our Discord channel and stuff, but I don't know anything about that. So that's all Andrew, Cody, and the techs.
Nothing about that.
I know nothing about how Discord works. We might have to clean up some of the language on our Discord because there's some. If any kids are out there, I don't want them to see all the swear words. We're pretty excited though. It's sort of like last year once we got accepted to Magfest, we buckled down and got a demo whipped out really quick and stuff. So it's something I think we all, as very busy, fully employed people, kind of need that that date in mind to finish something that we're proud of. Those who get into game design and making games is just it's an odyssey. You pretty much go on. So just having these little benchmarks for us, I think, is a very important part for us to get kind of get our priorities in order, get the animation we need done, and all the gameplay mechanics and stuff. But the demo, if any of you guys played it, it's going to be what hopes to be a completely new kind of story we're telling. Same gameplay mechanics and everything, but it's a whole new story that's going to be unfolding. And we're trying to do it in a way that this is level 1. Let's let's get to the action now. So a hard road ahead, but a fun one too. And it's also, it's since we're all scattered about, I never really get to hang out with Andrew. I never get to hang out with Greg. Cody's, on the other side of the country. So it's also the time where all 5 of us get to actually hang out and be together in person and get to see the game played with the real audience. So it's a fun time. And it's a marathon too, because you're exhausted by the end of those 5 days. I hope some of you guys can make it. All right. So at this point, I'm just gonna keep both of us on the same layer here because they have to be animated anyway at the same kind of chart, so it just makes sense to keep them all just on the same layer here. Just clean up that eye a little bit. All right. Now I'm going to use this beam of light. I'm probably going to use a different color line for that, so I won't cross any lines for that case. Alright, now we're gonna have to pick another line. I'm just gonna do a white line for now before we pick the color I want. And we're gonna go monochromatic here, so we know a beam sort of hits. Let's see here. Now actually, since the arms aren't going down now, we don't need that. Just make it kind of angular and a little bit organic here. We can make this a cycle too, like that's shocking us. And let's see, I'm gonna have to pick a new color here to kind of keep us monochromatic. I'm just gonna pick one of these and let's see what that looks like. If they're all like that, would that mean? We got some bobs here too. Let's see. What do you think, Bob? What color could I like the beam be? Like if they're getting like kind of sucked up. Like what do you think? Like
well,
these are the
background's yellow, maybe.
Yep.
Like
a purple or something.
Yeah, maybe even an orange.
An orange?
Like a flat orange. Where is that color? My seams there.
Like that. I mean, we could go the same color too. And then like a lighter version for like the surrounding part.
Maybe even the same.
I keep it like that. Yeah, that's a fun color. And you think the white outline, or should I do like a lighter version of that?
Try black. Just be interesting. Just keep it monochrome.
That's not bad either, actually. What do you think? Well,
Yeah.
nothing's touching, so it doesn't matter. We could always change it. So I'll make this a cycle. They'll be like that, and then eventually, so I can make that. I'll call this scene 02 stagger. And then what will happen, the beam kind of gets sucked up. So like that, and then we just dissipate a little bit like that. So the beam like sucks us up. And then these parts can slowly fall down, just like sparks. All right. And then what I'm gonna also have happen is that the computers are gonna all of a sudden stop and just shimmer. And then I can have even like the desk and stuff like smash off too if we want to really go to town here. That's that right there, right? So I can really make it a kind of fun debris-filled mess here. computer could shoot off here. It's Friday. Bighorn.
I didn't even know that was actually in
So we could really just play with the debris here. And then those would fall along with everything else. But then we'll be out of the seed anyway. Let's see how that plays. Yeah. And that's probably the timing I'll keep too. Like this is, I think this is a 3-second scene. Let me just make sure. What frame is that? Oh, 2-second scene, which works perfect. I mean, we're just trying to, you know, make something cute here. Nothing crazy. Oh, let's see. By the way, I love your walk cycle in the sand. Oh, is there something I missed? Is there?
I think she was just talking about Dan.
Yeah, with.
On Twitter, probably. Or something. I don't know. I didn't see it.
Now you heard. Oh, okay. I want to see this walk cycle in the sand. All right. So let me start cleaning some of this up. I'm going to start with the beams. Is there something? Is it on YouTube or Twitter? It sounds like. Was this it?
Nobody said anything on
Once, if you want to throw up the link here, I would love to check it out. And I'm just gonna do like some action lines here, like that's bobbing my body sort of shooting off. Oh, is this it? Let me find it. Oh wow.
Oh, it's not playing. It doesn't play on the.
Doesn't play on Twitter?
Yeah, you have to watch it on the phone.
Oh, okay. Let's load that up.
That annoying thing with Twitter if it's too big for.
Oh, is it? No.
I don't know what the deal is with that.
I guess most people check in Twitter on their phones anyway. Oh wow, that's good compositing. Is that 3D?
No, it's not.
Oh, that's good timing. Is that a live action background?
I think it's like photo collage, probably.
Crazy. So much talent on Twitter. I find Twitter to be the most talent-filled medium. You don't see a lot of stuff on, I mean, well, Facebook and
You don't find much on Facebook.
I don't find anything on Facebook other than people fighting each other politically
No, they
or
said, I was reading about that. That's just an algorithm to keep
me watching.
to get people to get angry. It's an
Yeah. How is that making anyone dying though? I don't.
It keeps them on there.
Yeah, I
them
guess.
interacting on it. It's more likely to get someone.
I have, I don't know, 300 people on Facebook that I'm friends with. 288 of them are artists, and it's just 12 people from my hometown who are arguing. That's all I see. I don't know where everyone else is. Just and like no one's budging is my favorite part. There's like no one's well. It's like just I try to surround it with just animators and stuff, and I don't see I mean, I'm part of a traditional animation group. I'll see people who aren't my friends stuff, but none of my animator friends I haven't seen. I don't know what they're working on. I know what a bunch of townies think. I find a lot of cool events on Facebook. Other than that, I don't use it much. I use No, I post in that group a lot, but like I've
It doesn't come
I've
from
accrued.
your feed much,
No,
right? It's
I mean I
no
don't.
problem.
And every few times I post up on our Facebook, like our company's Facebook, they're like, for $5 you can reach your audience. I was like, it's like the audience we gained. You're allowing me to show it to them. Why, thank you. Like, how dare you try to charge me? It's like we have 6,000 Facebook followers, and it's like for $5 you can get this in front of 4,000 people. I'm like, oh, that's mighty kind of you. What can I get for 10? Just, how dare you try to charge me? So this little kind of, and shooting stuff on threes, you could get away with murder on this stuff. This is, really kind of, because everything's so choppy anyway that no one's going to notice that stuff will not exactly line up. I used to be so against shooting on threes, and now I love it. Other than I need more animation stuff. No, I find Twitter to be the best. Twitter is amazing. It's been
Well, because like we follow
it's
the animation people, and it's
no, and they're showing stuff from animators, like people that aren't that don't follow us back. I could even see. But Facebook's crazy because I'm like, yeah, like, and maybe people aren't posting because I don't really post anything personal on my Facebook, but it's annoying. So zoom off. Woo. And then just a few stragglers left. Though I think by this time we're already cutting, but I just had to finish it. OCD. So that shoots off fun. Feels quick. Got 10 minutes. I think I could finish most of the desk in that. I'll show you guys a secret too when you don't want to do this, just paint behind. Just go like that. And just erase. It'll save you a bunch of time. The only thing is if there's a gap, you're going to see stuff not pop up, but then you just fix it. Alright, so let's get the desk in here. Debris is the duct tape of animation when you're doing action. What do you search on Twitter for anime? I don't know. Bob, you sort of set up our Twitter, but I noticed a lot of just people.
Just people we followed, and then they follow people, then you'll see a lot of stuff.
No, it's been great. And a lot of like-minded people, too. Like, just, like what's it, James Polgar? Is that his name?
Oh, yeah. No, Jeremy.
Jeremy Polgar is one of our favorites here, and I wouldn't have known him except for Twitter.
Yeah, and then we saw that he was on a tongue and pencil. Too.
Yeah, he was on, actually, the thing for Chris Bernowski that we were talking about.
Well, it's funny because every time we saw like a cool shot in something, and we found out it was.
No, he has some of the coolest timing, like sort of. It was almost like anime. I would.
He's got like a really good anime.
Like that anime timing, if to generalize it in its simplest terms.
Like every Studio Yoda shot that we know.
Yeah, Studio Yoda is amazing.
Or Yada, I guess.
Yada.
But like that one, the cool shot in that Long Gone Gulch.
Yeah, he did the Long Gone Gulch thing where a character's running up sort of this, like a snake, I think, or
yeah, that was awesome.
something like the snake. And he did some, what else? He worked on, what was the other thing? Did he work on Thundercats Roar?
You know, I don't know. I feel like
I don't know. People
I think
hated
Studio
that.
Yada did, so
Yeah.
I don't know who did.
People dislike that so much, you might not want to be. But it looked fantastic. That got an unfair. Boy, did that get treated unfairly. Alright, we can clean that up. Animation Monthly is good. How is animating in Blender? Don't know that. Lord knows more about animating in Blender. I've never got to work in Blender. I've heard good things though.
I feel like I probably enjoy it.
Is that's somewhat of a 3D program too, right?
I think you can, and it's got that grease pencil or something.
Yeah. All right. All right. The first frame of my debris is always the hard one, and then I just dissipate it too. So every frame gets easier after these. And it's just a super ease in, so that's the first frame is crazy. The second frame, they shoot off a little further, then it sort of slowly dissipates. Ooh, almost cleaned up that. Alright, so we got about 5 minutes left. I guess I'll start doing a little bit of promotional stuff here. So next week we plan to announce everywhere about the Road to Magfest. We'll talk to Andrew and Cody and Greg about the Discord channel, but there's been a lot of talk about making that go live. We're going to show you some new t-shirt designs that Bob put up for Blood. And a bunch of other like kind of promotional stuff for Blood, all in preparation for our January 2nd trip. Um, which again we're pretty excited about. So, and if those of you who haven't signed up, we have bloodgame.com, which is sort of everything I just went over about. Like it gives you a little inside peek, all that fun stuff. Oh, you know what? I kind of like the. Did I like? Can the computer go? Nah, we won't do that. So bloodgame.com if you want to sign up, and we encourage when we do go live on the Discord, join in, ask questions. We don't have to wait till Friday, and the way things have been going every other Friday, to necessarily answer any questions if you guys are curious about Blood or what's coming on next week. I would like to post at dailies if we can on like what we did that day. I want to dedicate at least a little bit of time other than Fridays to Blood a little bit. So hopefully we get to do that, make it look cooler. So we could do dailies and not necessarily on Twitter and stuff, since it won't be these grand sweeping animations, but something like that. Haven't read. What is all this stuff? Tween Machine? Tween Machine in Pose Library.
Your old mind won't be able to grasp it.
I can't mind. Hey, I never heard of Tween Machine. It sounds cool.
No, I sit next to one, that's about it.
Who's the Tween Machine?
Tween Machine.
The
Shape Tween Machine.
Oh, the Shape Tween Machine. I could do a whole Twitch on shape tweening. It's a good morphing tool.
It's morphing time.
It's morphing time. It's mighty morphing time. So let's see. Any other questions or promo?
I guess if anybody had any animation questions, we have some time today.
Yeah, if you guys have any animation questions, throw it our way if you think we could help. Kind of just figuring out this debris here. So the computer shoots off that way, so we'll. Follow through that way. Let's see, and that'll go this way. And the table just keeps getting broken up and broken up. Do you know any good animation books or websites? My favorite book is The Animation Survival Guide by the late Richard Williams. In my opinion, that's pretty much the only one you need, because it sort of just discusses the principles, and all animation is theoretic principles and stuff. Plus, he was arguably one of the best animators of all time. He did Roger Rabbit, and if you look at his resume, you'll know why. Though there's some other animation books that escape me now. Websites, I'm not exactly sure, but I think actually the Richard Williams book's on YouTube somewhere if you can find
They
it.
made like a digital app of it, actually.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, someone's using their brain.
Like animated. It showed the stuff animated.
Yeah, no, the guy's a genius. Let's see. I think, YouTube
And then
for...
just kind of like trying, I feel like just starting doing
Yeah.
wall balance and then that kind of, and then moving
Yeah, if you just start with the basics and build on. The thing I found, at least for someone like myself, the best teacher is experience, I think. I try not to get bogged down with like prep work and worrying about it's just really practicing is, in my experience, the best teacher. You'll find out pretty quick what works and doesn't. If it doesn't work and you post it online, people will be glad to tell you. Stuff like that too.
YouTube is really
you too. They really, they'll let you know. But no, it's really just experience for me. You'll find what works for you, and also you'll find what part of animation you like. Some people enjoy storyboarding. Others like design. People like myself happen to find comfort in just animating. But I would start with the Richard Williams book and then just, from page one, just keep practicing. And it's animation's not really for me anyway. It's not about design. It's about translating acting. So I try not to get bogged down with design and stuff. It's just, am I conveying the right emotion? Is it fun to watch? Um, Eye direction is important, like where the audience's eye is going. Don't spend a lot of time on side characters, and then you slowly build up your confidence and learn from your mistakes, and in 20 years or so, you get a little bit of a grasp of it. So, well, we're about at the 2 hour. Eric Goldberg, he's great too. Oh, he has a crash course on it. This old animation I did for a friend doing Christopher Walken voice. So, all right, I'm gonna check that out, King Maxi. And King Maxi, good luck with everything. And we're probably gonna sign off right about now. So look out for next week. Definitely on Twitter, we'll be announcing everything, make everything official here. Once we get more information on Magfest too, what booth we're in and stuff. But that's pretty far away. And please join us on the journey, the road to Magfest, because we're doing it not just for us five guys, but for hopefully an audience. So we hope to see everyone there. We hope to hear from you, and we would love to see you there if you guys have the chance to do it. It's a fun time if you like games and animation and pop culture. Until next week or before, we will be in touch, and have a great weekend, guys. Did I end? Did this?